Alrighty, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome back everybody to, well, something a little bit more Zelda A Link to the Past. You may have seen it on this channel before, but the short version is, this is going to be a ladder race. I do not know who my opponent is until I finish the race, and, well, let's see how this is going to go. The settings are going to be casual boots, and what this means is that we're going to be beginning our adventure with boots already unlocked as well as a sword, and we have to go ahead and clear the entirety of the escape sequence where Zelda is, well, basically in a cage, and then we go on to the rest of the world as usual. As usual, if you don't know what Link to the Past Randomizer is, basically Link to the Past is a Super Nintendo adventure game, basically the third Zelda game in the series, and effectively all the items in chests as well as like collectibles effectively have been randomized, and they are kind of, well, wherever they would be. They basically just swapped places. The keys are in their usual location. This is not key sanity, so it's just the items. The overall goal of this race is going to be to collect all the necessary items in order to beat the 7 crystal dungeons, and then defeat Ganon's tower, and then defeat Ganon. Which dungeon is going to be the crystal dungeon is going to be random, so potentially, let's say, the Pendant dungeons are Eastern Palace as well as Palace of Darkness. We may never need to acquire a bow in order to be able to finish the game, because these are the only 2 dungeons where you need a bow in order to beat it. So, well, let's see how that's going to work out. We're going to be beginning in just about slightly over 3 minutes. I probably should create a file, and yeah. I also slightly exchanged my controller. I also opened up my controller and tried to clean them out and adjust them, because on one of my controllers, the X button was stuck. I hadn't used that one in a long time, but it was just kind of like a really weirdly soft ridge in there, or just kind of, it was weird to press, let's put it this way. But that seems to be fixed now. The other controller had the D-pad on the right, had kind of a similar-ish issue, not quite as extreme, but that also seems to be better now. I don't think either of those buttons are good, because the basically rubber at the back of the controllers were, well, I mean, I'm using those controllers quite frequently. Well, aside from that, welcome everybody. I'm gonna try and do as much commentary as I can during these runs, but I still have about 2 minutes to say hello to chat, or hello again. Let's see. You hope something will, Golden Sun related will be announced, or Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster for the Nintendo Direct. Wait, do we know anything about Golden Sun? I haven't quite seen Golden Sun in a while, aside from speedruns. Plus, I still kind of at some point need to go back and play both Golden Sun 1 and 2, since I've only ever played 1, and then there was too much of a gap in between 1 and 2 that I just never ended up playing 2. So there's that too. Oh well. The race will begin in just about a minute. So yeah, maybe real quick about the race format. Effectively, the Link to the Past Randomizer ladder race, anybody can compete and participate if you'd like to. The only requirement is that you do need to stream your run, and of course, you are not allowed to look up or know who your race opponent is. Effectively, there's like an amount of people just kind of signing up for these races. In this case, we have 20 entrants, and you're randomly pitched against one of the other entrants, and you both receive the same seed. The same seed means we both start with the same chest contents, as well as a bunch of boss patterns are going to be at least initially the same. So which ones these are going to be, or which items are going to be in a chest, we don't know yet, but it's going to be the same for both of us. And once again, I'm not allowed to know who my opponent is until after I'm done. Plus, you could get informed if your opponent finishes, also 10 seconds. You could get informed if your opponent finishes, but I choose to not know that until I'm done myself. Otherwise, I'm just gonna psych myself out. Alrighty, welcome to this. Let's see how this is going to go. Alright, thank you. Thank you so much for 6 years of support. That's pretty crazy. Welcome back. I'm glad you enjoy your stay. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Also, as you might be able to tell, I can dash already. I have the boots. But I don't have a sword that can still run through the bushes. The reason for this is because of how dashing through bushes works to begin with. Basically, the game just checks whether you have a sword or not in order to remove the bushes in front of you, which actually I didn't know until later. Now I have the sword as soon as we get to Uncle. It is unlocked. I want to kill one of these guards here, see what they drop, and in this case it is a small magic container, which, if I'm not mistaken, this means that this is the small prize pack from the guards, which after 3 or 4 drops will actually give us a bomb if we really wanted to do that. But that's quite a time invested, and if you have boots start, you actually are guaranteed to be able to get bombs before Kakariko village, so I don't really need to worry too much about that. Worth noting, if you dash through enemies and kill them with the dash specifically rather than the sword swing, they will never drop items. I actually did not know this until later. So in this next room we just need to kill the guard and, well, get the key from him, and we already got bombs. Hey, we don't need to worry about this. Oh my goodness. That controller has a bit of a weird drift to the side for some reason. Which is weird because it's a D-pad. You wouldn't expect a drift on a D-pad. I might have to exchange the controller here soon. Maybe I get used to it. This is the controller I have used significantly less than the other one, so it's entirely possible I'm just not used to it. Either way, we have bombs, so the biggest worry about that is gone already. Hello. And we want to open up all the chests. We don't have any items whatsoever aside from the boots as well as the sword, so I guess we do have some items. Whatever. I did also earlier check the map, so we now know that Desert Palace is a pendant, but Eastern Palace as well as Tower of Hera are both crystal dungeons, so I will have to clear these 2 dungeons. Desert, well, being a pendant is a bit awkward at times, but it will be fine. Speaking of awkward, I got hit a lot more than I wanted to. There's the small key. Small key is there somewhere. Currently I'm not confident enough in my controller execution to just go with half a heart remaining, because anything that would hit me would kill me, which I don't usually get hit until a pot that would be more in my way with hearts, but oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna change controller here, what the hell? That controller? I need to look into this again or something. Because I just went to the right the entire time, it felt like. When I was pressing down, it also went down right. I mean, with this other controller here, that is not usually a problem. Good luck with the race sleepy time. Alrighty. Rest well, alright. Thank you so much for dropping by. Thank you so much for your continued support, and rest well. So here I don't really have a whole lot to commentate. We are just kind of doing the standard beginning route, so to speak. Here I look at the right side of the thing, just to see whether the pixel covers a certain other pixel of the movable block in order to be able to hold up. And I was talking and actually focusing on the pixels, so I tried to go into the door too early. Alright. If you're looking for maybe enemy item drops, these snakes have the same drop price pack as guards. And, well, drop price packs, hey, boots. We already have boots. The drop price packs are effectively randomized. In this room here, there's going to be a huge congregation of rats in the top right. Those have a different drop pool compared to the guards as well as the snakes. So if you're really looking for bombs and you really want to have these bombs early-ish, you may want to just go ahead and kill the rats. In this case, we have boots. What can we do with boots? These kinds of openings here, or cracks in the wall, the big ones, you can actually just dash into in order to open them. Ooh. We have a flute and a shovel already. The flute is nice in order to just accelerate travel across the overworld quite a bit. And the shovel bell is just basically a fetch quest. You go to one spot in order to get one item. But hey, sometimes it's important. Alrighty, and we have completed the escape sequence. A bit slow because I switched controllers, but that's quite alright. Now here we go. Got this chest. Ah, right, I forgot. So that's a mistake. There's always the map somewhere in one of these chests, including the sanctuary chest. Basically the entirety of Hyrule Castle and Sanctuary is connected in terms of chest contents. And that chest there, I could have known that it was a map because we didn't get it until now. Or until then, but I guess I was a little bit distracted. Also, we have acquired the Moon Pearl. We are now allowed to be not in bunny form in the Dark World, so that's nice. Oh, maybe one thing that I kind of didn't even mention. Maybe if you don't entirely know Randomizer, I am currently playing as not Link. In this case, I'm playing as Moogle. Also, these bush crabs actually drop random items. In this case, it's bombs, which is also kind of nice. That is a bottle up there. Could be relevant. Unlikely to be relevant, but could be. Keeping it in mind. By the way, I'm playing as a Moogle, and there is over 100 sprites for Zelda Link to the Past randomized. Thank you for the bombs, little crab. Appreciate it. And one of my favorite ones, or the one I've been basically using this entire time, is Mog from Final Fantasy VI. Although really it is Kutan, because the bunny sprite, when you basically go into the Dark World without having the Moon Pearl, or you get hit by one of these weird swirly bunny beams, that sprite is actually Zealous. Okay, that is just 1 rupee. Also, 3 pulls have been randomized, although right now they look very vanilla in terms of what they normally give. So there's a bonk rock just to the left of this house up there, and if you bonk into it, you get 1 bomb. So this is why I'm never concerned about having or collecting bombs early. So there's 2 different paths you can choose in order to open up the chests and stones, as well as bomb open the wall back there, and both of the paths are about the same. Also, dashing down here at the bottom, not actually efficient. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of items. We get a mushroom. We got a mirror. And we did get Bomb Boss medallion. So that is actually quite a lot of items right there. And I do need to remember to activate the flute. It's been actually quite numerous times where I got the flute early and I just forgot to activate it and I had to come back to Kakariko a little bit later, basically taking the Walk of Shame. In this case, I'm not going to preemptively select it, just to see whether that's going to be... well, basically to make sure that this doesn't happen. Let's see. Alrighty, and don't forget to ask the bottle vendor for an item. In this case we traded 100 rupees for 20 rupees. But we didn't just get 20 rupees, we also got 20 rupees and the peace of mind that he didn't have anything useful. So 80 rupees to know there's nothing, I guess. I mean, the bottle vendor only wants 100 rupees, Zora wants 500, so you often pay 500 for 3 bombs or something like that. Alrighty. Let's see, we have this here. With the mirror as well as the flute, by the way, we do have the ability, or capability I guess, to go up on that mountain. Also this D-pad on this controller is not that great right now, oh my goodness. We can go up on that mountain with the flute, so I think I'm still going to stick to the standard strategy opening, so to speak. The back of the tavern normally has an empty bottle, in this case it's a random item. One that we didn't really need. We actually can't ask the bottle kit for an item. In order to do that, you have to have a bottle. Doesn't matter what's in the bottle, you just need a bottle in your inventory to acquire that. So, we also need to not forget that we have a shovel. Check the racing minigame, it's just 1 rupee, so that's not really worth going out of my way to get. That's alright. But we go and dig up the shovel spot in just a moment here. And then we float away right after. Just 5 rupees, so we don't really need those, that's alright. Now, I could go up on that mountain already, but as I said, I'm just gonna stick to the standard affair here. Oh, by the way, another thing I forgot to mention, in case you're not really familiar with Randomizer, I'm using what is called Quick Swap. Quick Swap allows you to change your items by pressing L and R on your controller. So this allows me to not have to open up the menu ever if I'm good at quick swapping. Occasionally it might still be more efficient to open up the menu anyways, especially if it's in-game time sensitive, if you will. But for the most part, as long as I'm doing it well, it should be fine. Alrighty, we need to defeat these mini Moldorms in order to... Ooh. Get through here. I could just go to the side there instead of throwing bombs, and actually last time I thought you can walk at the bottom of that abyss there, so to speak, or the bottom of the pit. Alright, and here's one of the good reasons as to why I didn't go up Death Mountain initially. Now, we have acquired the hammer. And the hammer is very, very useful in order to go to the east side of Death Mountain. Okay, now we go in here. So this is the cave where normally you come out of and you go up Death Mountain for the first time and you rescue the old man along the way. In this case, I'm just gonna do this entire thing in the dark because I do not yet have a lamp in order to, well, see much at all. But as long as I'm holding out the sword, I do have a general idea on where I am. You can just do this entire thing without even a sword if you're playing a mode where you don't start with a sword. But it's definitely nicer to have one. This is, however, a sequence break. This is not something that you have to do in order to be able to complete the seed. Because this seed logic, so to speak, is called glitchless. So you never have to be able to go through a dark room in order to complete this. There's always going to be a way where you will be able to get the lamp before you ever have to go into any dark rooms. I just like rescuing the old man right there, because it also gives me a safe spot. It's just a heart in there, which I don't need, even though I would like to have it. It just gives me a safe spot up on Death Mountain, which is actually slightly more efficient to even quit to. Also, let's see. Alright, I just checked out all the dungeons. I tapped one too many times on this. I do take this. So it looks like we do basically need all the items in order to complete the game. Or all relevant progression items anyways. Okay, so there's the small key right here. And I hope I don't get knocked out soon, because that would be awkward. Okay, I'm just gonna take a death warp here to refill my HP. Alrighty, so now we have gotten one item out of Tower of Hera. However, it is fire locked, which means I need either the fire rod or I need the lamp in order to be able to get the big key out of the basement to climb the tower. There's an alternative way of me just using the hookshot in order to do a sequence break. Minor glitches are allowed, even if they are not required. But that's the thing. Also, speaking of things, there is in fact a bow sitting on the floating island. So bows as well as gloves as well as swords and shields are called what is a progressive item. Whenever you get one of these items, or when you find them, the first one you find is always basically the first stage. So the first sword we find is always the fighter's sword, the first shield we find is always the fighter's shield, etc. But if you find the second one, it doesn't matter which one you pick up second or first, you will always get basically the next higher upgrade. So in this case we do already have the gloves in order to pick up rocks, but we don't have the gloves to pick up heavier rocks, so to speak, which you need to clear the game here anyways eventually. Here we have acquired a cane of Samaria. And after this, get a red boomerang. Anything else? Nope, that's it. Alright, we have a red boomerang, so that is handy to have. But beyond this, there was nothing else up on the mountain that actually gives us any form of progression. Wait, no, I actually don't have a glove. I don't have a glove. For some reason I thought I did, but no, I don't. Alright. Going to turn in the mushroom here real quick. I could have used the mushroom in order to sequence break the powder check with the bat, but it's so rare that it is relevant in any capacity, so I'm not even going to worry about it. Alrighty. Now, there's not a whole lot of locations left where we possibly can go, but I would prefer not going into Eastern Palace, because we even know where the boat is. We just can't get it until we get the Titan's Myths in order to pick that thing up. So I'm just going to effectively check out the one-off locations before I head over to Eastern Palace. Eastern Palace has 3 items in it that are not dungeon items, as in not big, small map or compass items. Here we have nothing interesting, and if I have a flute, I like to check out Agina's cave first, because I can also see what's on the ledge towards Desert Palace, and effectively just check out 2 items at the same time. Plus, this also gave me just enough money to be confident enough to actually do another little sequence break coming out of this place right here. By the way, crabs have the same item drop pool as snakes and guards. There's an entire price pack guide, so to speak. Ooh, there's a book here. That actually opens up Desert Palace. I don't want to go into Desert Palace, but there's 2 items in there, and we did receive a book. Unfortunately, I did not get this book until, well, just now, so otherwise I could have also checked what is on Ether Tablet up on the mountain. I couldn't get the item until I get the Master Sword specifically, but I could check it. So, checking out what's on the island, it is just a piece of art, I do not care about that, so we mark it off of the map. And thanks to being able to run on water, we can go here. So the reason why I can run on water, by the way, probably should have mentioned that, is... Oh, that's a sequence break, interesting. That is not in logic to get this. You need normally the flippers in order to get into that cave. So either way, the reason why I can run on water right now is because going out of the Ice Rod Cave, I basically dashed alongside the pit just to the outside, and for whatever reason that I do not actually know on a technicality, for whatever reason... Oh, that's useful. By the way, for whatever reason... Excuse me, I keep losing my train of thought here because I'm trying to think on what to do next. For whatever reason, it allows you to walk on water if you jump into the water south. Either way, so this is actually still a sequence break right here that I'm doing. And I'm hoping to get a little bit of money here, because I would like to go ahead and head over to Palace of Darkness as well as Eastern Palace at the same time, just in case there is some other form of progression involved along the way. That's a fire rod. That actually does open up the last item in Tower of Hera. But again, this is a sequence break. I'm not supposed to be in the Dark World yet, but it is allowed, so since it is only a minor glitch. Okay, let me think about this. I need a bit more money. I don't know what the big guys drop here. The big guys actually have an interesting behavior to them, that they always drop an item. They drop bombs. I don't need bombs. They normally have to drop the bomb price pack. Actually, all the price packs so far feel vanilla to me. I was kind of hoping they would drop rupees. I kind of need a little bit more, just a little bit, in order to be able to enter Palace of Darkness in the 110 rupees. So it's a little bit awkward, but I have a slightly, well, I still have a tiny chance, I guess, for that to work out, because Sahasrara has 3 items in his home. But I'm gonna actually do this one here. And check out Sahasrara's house. A bit slow to switch, but that's fine. Hammer dash allows you to dash through pots. Basically use dash and hammer at the same time. And ooh, whatever the progression is that leads to what we have right now is actually in Eastern Palace. So I do actually want to check out what is inside Eastern Palace sooner rather than later, so to speak. But while I'm here, I'm also going to check what's in the front of Palace of Darkness. Effectively, I'm almost guaranteeing myself a double dip into Palace of Darkness here. But the reason why that's not too terrible is because if it's a crystal, you always need the key anyways. But I'm kind of expecting there to be flippers inside Eastern Palace. And we could just find some other progression here in Palace of Darkness, even if it's a sequence break. I feel like Yaga's trying to dodge the real answer. Just that he is a wizard. Trying to walk in water, maybe. Alrighty, so let's get in here. So this is actually interesting here. We did get a small key. With one small key, you're guaranteed to be able to get the next 2 chests right here. And if you get 3 small keys in the front 4 chests that are not on the bowlocked side, you actually are guaranteed to be able to go further to the backside. Effectively, the backside is not bowlocked. Because if you want to get the 2 chests on the right side of the entrance, they are, as a matter of fact, locked by a bow, because you need to defeat red mimics, and they can only be defeated by having a bow. There's other means. Also, there is the 3rd key right here. Okay, so the backside is technically available. That's very interesting. Awkward timing when I do a hammer dash dash. But there's also another method of going through here. And that method goes as follows. I can kill the 2 green mimics with the sword, and then we just ask the red mimic to leave by making it face the wall for 1 frame and then face away from the wall for another frame, which allows me to effectively just make the mimic go through the wall. It's kind of efficient. At least if you can do it bufferless. It's not actually too terribly difficult to do Well, not bufferless, let's put it this way. Alrighty, so we have all the smoke keys. The big key on the right side is actually out of logic, but everything else I'm gonna be able to get is actually gonna be in logic. Also, we can do a fancy trick here. Put down a Samaria block and go slightly off the ledge at the bottom towards the pit, and then just dash up the staircase. And for some reason, that allows you to get through those blocks. There's a lot of things I don't really know why they work in this game, but they do. It's kind of fun. Either way, I need a little bit more money. And conveniently enough, I do have a fire rod, so even though that's the last of my magic, I do want to have a bit more money here. Actually, that's probably sufficient. There's powder, alright. Powder is not yet in logic, because the fire rod is not yet in logic. Well, then again, I'm right now not in logic at all, for that matter. Nothing is in logic. Oh, why did I go here? This is a small key. I know that. Oh well, that's okay. Either way, this is the part where I regret not having opened up my Dark World map. You're allowed to have a reference map on the side, which I just opened. And I do tend to use a reference map right here, in order to be able to tell where I am in this dark room. Nothing here so far. So far, Palace of Darkness has been basically empty, if you will. Which is less than ideal. Kind of hoping for a useful item somewhere along the way. Oof. There's still 2 items in this dungeon. One is on the boss, which I can't get, and one is in the big chest, which is definitely not in logic, because we would also need the bow for that. Yeah, it's not here. Alright, so in a sense that was quite a bit of a time investment for effectively nothing gained. So that's a bit of a shame. But hey, sometimes you try to be fancy and it doesn't quite work out. Something I forgot to check is what the enemies drop when I kill them after stunning them with a boomerang. If I get the flippers in this first chest, I'm out of here, by the way. Well, maybe I shouldn't be out of here. Trying to think. I do still want to find the Titansmiths. With the Titansmiths I will be able to finish off both Palace of Darkness as well as the Eastern Palace. But right now, unless there's the other bow inside the Eastern Palace, I'm not gonna be able to finish either of the dungeons. Which, dare to say, not terribly likely. There's the first item that is not a dungeon item right there with the 20 rupees. Let's see, what's my option? I think bomb is fine. Now this next room here I can speed up slightly by placing a bomb here, then killing the invisible skeleton on the left side with my pot, and then just going through. Okay. Wait, I haven't gotten the big key yet. Wait, this is not in logic. Wait. Uh-oh, did I forget a location? Hang on. I'm missing something because the progression had to be there. At least in theory. Oh, right, I forgot. Yeah, no, the progression doesn't have to be here. It's in Desert Palace. Oh my goodness. I was really nervous for a second that I messed up, but I didn't mess up yet. I just didn't go into Desert Palace yet. Also, I always needed to get the big key out here anyways. I forgot about Desert Palace. I should have gone Desert Palace first. Ooh, there's still an item on the boss too here. Ooh. That's a lot of time invested for basically no gain. Effectively, because this is a race, this actually is quite relevant in this case. Because I am... effectively falling behind against a random opponent. I don't know who my opponent is. They could have done the exact same thing as I did. A bit unlikely, but possible. Oops. So, let's see. There's probably the flippers in here, which would actually unlock everything else and break everything else into logic. So, where are the flippers? Right side. Because I'm gonna go left side after this, it's actually gonna be faster to mirror back outside. Unless there's both of the items in this, on the right side here. There's 2 chests. It's possible that the big key is in the torch. And I don't care about the pendants, most likely. But it looks like we're gonna go the other way anyways, because we didn't get both items. There's a bottle right here, alright. So, if you remember, there was also a bottle on Aghanim's ledge. We don't need to worry about that one anymore. Or well, the lumberjack ledge. So, Sick Kid probably has a progression in this case. It doesn't have to have it. It's possible that this other item here will be the item that we need. Technically I could go for the boss possibly if the boss has the second item, but I've already spent enough time. The chance of this being progression... ah, there it is. That's the flippers. The chance of this being progression isn't that high. Alright. The flippers we always need because Swamp Palace is a required dungeon. Still going to check out Sick Kid. Swamp Palace is a required dungeon, so there's that. Ooh, I have a fire rod, and Skull Woods is beatable. Okay. Does it just beatable? I'm actually going to briefly check the pedestal, just in case. The only thing that's not beatable is Ice Palace, which needs Titansmith. I'm still going to check the pedestal. In order to be able to get the item from the pedestal, you need all 3 pendants from the pendant dungeons. And knowing that the item is not on the pedestal is incredibly valuable, or no required items on the pedestal, as well as knowing early that there is in fact an item that you may need. In this case we don't need it, it's just money. Just good to know. Because now I don't have to second guess myself whether I will go ahead and get the item from a pedestal or not. Alright, and refill my magic here by bonking into that tree and then accidentally bonking again. The second bonk was not intentional. Right, I do tend to check the front of Skullwoods, but because I have a fire rod, I'm actually going to check one less chest than usual, just in case I will want to come back later. But effectively this front part here, I like to just check out as part of the general overworld check, because I'm right here. It's decently efficient. There's the big key here. Take a little bomb jump across. And there's just a small key. I guess I didn't need to necessarily mirror right there. But yeah, now with the flippers acquired, everything is back in logic. Every item I have acquired so far is now effectively normal to have it at this point. Another small key. And there is one more chest on the right side here that I can get. Ooh, that boomerang just kind of plinked off. Seeming enough. Ooh, there's nothing here. I feel like this is a terrible choice here, but I guess I'm gonna go to the backside anyways. If this is an item, I'm leaving. But if this is not an item, I guess I'm gonna go to Mothula and the other chest. Because technically everything is available. I guess we're gonna go to Mothila. Wow, alright. Both items in the back. That is actually very unusual. And definitely not something you hope for when the dungeon is a pendant. Over here we go. I mean, look at the bright side. At least we have everything we need to speed this dungeon up as much as possible, except for maybe some tiny hook shots you could use to speed up the process, but that's fine. Uh-oh. It's alright. There's a quick medallion here. That could be very relevant, because it's also randomized what medallion you need in order to go into Total Rock, as well as Misery Mire. It may or may not be required. So this could be a good play right here. Because we need to clear both Total Rock as well as Misery Mire in order to win the game, so to speak. So there's that. Look at the bright side, don't get blinded. Alrighty, welcome to Mothila. Mothila just takes 4 hammer swings, but the problem is actually hitting with hammer. Because the hammer is tiny in terms of hitbox, but it does deal double the damage compared to Master Sword. And if you get a nice pattern like this from Mothila, actually not too terrible. Second item has nothing of interest, and I can't mirror out before grabbing the pendant, I don't think. Actually, I may need to ask, like, some of the better or more experienced technical Link to the Past runners to know why sometimes I can mirror out of the boss room and why not other times. So what I'm doing here, by the way, is I'm going back into the Dark World this way around. Oh wait, this is not more efficient. Is it? Wait, no, it is still. It is still more efficient. Basically, instead of backtracking through the second part of Skullwoods, just mirroring and going over here is actually more efficient. Guaranteed if you can pick up big rocks. And if you can't pick up big rocks, you just need to run around here. But that's still fine. So, order of operation. I need to check. Actually, do I have everything? I need an ice rod, I need a hook shot in order to clear the game at this point. And Titan Smiths. So I effectively need 3 items in order to be able to beat the game. So by the way, that hammer dash there is effectively item dashing. In case you're curious as to why you never knew about that existing when you played this game as a kid. Because this does not work unless you're specifically playing the 1.0 version of the Japanese version, and you have to press both the item button as well as the dash button at the exact same time, in the same frame, which is, well, a little bit tricky to do. But effectively it allows you to use an item as well as dash at the exact same time. And all speedruns as well as the randomizer version itself is effectively built upon the 1.0 version of, well, Japanese A Link to the Past. Because there's actually a number of little tricks that only work on that version. They're just a lot of fun to work with, like item dashing as well as super speed, as in item speed. What else is there? Block deletion as well is part of the 1.0 part. Alright, actually something I still haven't tested. What's the item? Okay. Oh, I could have tested that a while earlier. Full magic container when I stun an enemy and kill them. Normally it's just a singular rupee, but it's randomized in the randomizer, so in this case, it's actually a very useful or potentially useful drop. Right. Can you use a medallion and dashing at the same time? Yes, technically. It might not necessarily have the most amazing result. Oh hey, there's a lamp. I like lamps, now we can see in the dark. You can actually use a medallion at the same time as dashing. What it does actually is the same as Hookshot Dash, where effectively after you get off of little stairs or staircases, you get super speed. But of course you have to sit through the entire spell animation, so it's probably not worth it in terms of efficiency. So you actually do stay in place, and you don't go anywhere after the spell has concluded either. But you gain super speed off of stairs, so hooray. Spin speed, item dash speed, whatever you want to call it. You know what, I have powder. And I could have done this a lot more efficiently with that. Also, I actually did not pay attention whether I got all the items out of the dungeon already. So I'm just checking the big chest, I guess. Okay, I didn't get all of them. Good. One of the weirdest interactions, by the way, is if you have flippers and can do normal swimming, and you go from shallow water into deep water, you know, you don't normally do the jump into the water, right? But if you do effectively a dash with the shovel item, like a shovel dash, and then try to come back onto land afterwards, it just kind of slides you across the entire land. It's really weird doing a shovel dash into water and then going back onto like shallow water afterwards. Either way, welcome to Blind. Blind needs to just be hit 9 times total. It does not matter how much damage you deal. Everything deals just 1 damage to the head. 3 heads is 1 phase. 3 times 3 phases is 9 hits. And as long as you effectively hit Blind at the first possible opportunity every single time, frame perfectly, which can do it by literally just holding onto your sword, which makes it easy. Well, you get the same pattern every time, which is very nice. Because otherwise, Blind is a bit of a mess of a fight and can be quite scary. Hey, sword upgrade. Alrighty, what else? I do have powder. Powder is actually enlarging. No, it's not. I needed a big key for that, did I? No. I do have powder that is enlarging now. So I should check powder while I'm here in Kukariko village. So I can't lift up these rocks here. So I'm just gonna leave the mirror portal over here. And we go into this place. So I need the powder in order to do this. What I could have done earlier, while I still had the mushroom with Kinosamari and an empty mana bar, you can effectively use the Kinosamaria and immediately open the menu, and then switch over to the mushroom, and that is basically executing what is called fake powder, where it allows you to use the powder if you have a mushroom without actually having the powder. A bit strange. That's called fake powder. Hey Valokar, welcome. I hope you have a nice day. Na bat cave. Sure. Alright, we have 2 more items to acquire on this side of the Dark World. And then I actually have to figure out where to go. Actually no, there's slightly more than that. There's a consideration to be given to go into Swamp Palace without having a hookshot at this point. Because there is a few more places I can go and check. But I will be exactly at Swamp, and there's not that many places, I guess. That was a lot of digs. So you have to dig between 1 and 30 times in Randomizer. You don't know how many it is. It could be 1 in one randomizer seat and 30 in the other, but you and your opponent in a ladder race will always have the same amount of digs. So you're not really having any disadvantage on that end. Okay, let's see what's in here. Oh, Titansmith's. That actually opens up a bunch. Okay, nice. So, first of all, I can't clear Misery Mire as it is right now. Plus, there's 2 items right next to it. Normally, I like to go to Misery Mire as soon as possible, in order to know which medallion I need for going in there. In this case, it is Ether, which unfortunately is not Quake. Quake would be good for me because I did go out of my way to get Quake out of the back row of Skullwoods, which is something that, let's say, more reasonable runners may skip. But beyond that, we can clear Misery Mire, so we go and clear Misery Mire. After that, we probably go up Death Mountain, grab the bow, and grab, well, clear Palace of Darkness as well as Eastern. Because we know there's 1 item in each one of these dungeons still as well. Alright, not bad. Technically got a 1 cycle, but it was a really slow one. Okay. Now, what I'm hoping for the most is an ice rod. Because if I don't get an ice rod, I'll just have to search for it somewhere else. And because Trinex as the boss is the only place the ice rod blocks to begin with, the ice rod can be effectively anywhere else. So you have effectively no inkling of where it is whatsoever. So, generally speaking, I just hope to find it along the way if it is required. Actually, even if it is not required, as in Turtle Rock being a pendant, I still hope to find it along the way, then I still don't need to worry about it. So yeah, I actually would like to have a bit of health refill here. Actually, don't think I even need mushroom. Oh, speaking of not needing, hang on. I don't have enough magic, because I used it in the first room. I have exactly 4 magic spellcasts right now. Cape! I didn't check the bumper ledge because I took a different route than usual. That's gonna be interesting, I guess. Can I stun these snails? I think I can freeze them. While the block is moving, they are effectively intangible, so you can just move through them. And you can shoot through them. You can also hookshot through them and actually get to the torch on the other side, and get yourself stuck potentially, which would be less than ideal. But hey, you can do it. So we found 1 item in Misery Mire. We haven't found the big key yet, we still do need that. Ooh, it's not here. Always hope that the big key is over there when I actually go for this one. Maybe I should have just gone to the right side. I think that would have been a reasonable play in this case. Yeah, definitely would have been reasonable. Can't stun skeletons actually with a boomerang, you deal damage to them. Okay, that's the big key. What I'm gonna do here is a little ledge clip. Basically, you press left or right. Oh, I need that small key. Don't need to go around. You basically press left or right in order to exit the doorway, and that allows you to get 1 pixel closer than you would normally be able to get towards the ledge, and that allows you actually to just straight up rush through the ledge. Okay, at least going into this dungeon here was not a bad idea. I do need magic, and now that I have a hookshot I can actually kill these guys after stunning them and refill my magic to full. Alright, hookshot is nice because this allows us to clear another dungeon that we need to clear at some point anyways, which is Swamp Palace, which Should I go to Swamp Palace before going up Death Mountain? Well, yeah, could just find the Ice Rod along the way, because Ice Rod is the only thing that we don't know where it is at this point. Then again, actually, no. Alright, so it actually makes more sense to go up Death Mountain first, because Death Mountain first would have been an interesting choice to begin with, because it is a higher item density, so more chances to find the Ice Rod quickly. Because I forgot the spooky action glitch, so don't worry about it. Either way, there's a higher item density up there, and we know where the bow is, and we know we need to get the bow anyways. So consequently, it is probably most likely going to be a double dip up to Death Mountain either way, no matter how I twist and turn it. So it just makes the most sense to go up there first to see whether we find also the Ice Rod in the high item density up there too, and then if we do, we can just quickly clear the remaining items as well along the way. By the way, while you're slashing the sword, you do not lose any magic. Also, you don't have to defeat all the little eyes in order to kill the main thing. You just need to kill the big eye. And you can actually slash at it with the sword while it is spitting out lasers. Curious enough, you cannot shoot it with a bow while it is shooting out lasers. Which is a little bit interesting. One thing I forgot to mark off of my tracker earlier is that I did get both items out of Desert Palace, so there's actually nothing remaining in there, so there's no reason to go and check it. Alright, nothing here, so we go up that mountain. And... we can also just check the tablet. As well. If we go up here. Maybe I should have gone the other way up there and landed at Tower of Hera in the end, just to hookshot to the right side first. In hindsight, that would have actually been more efficient. Oh well. There's one more item remaining in Tower of Hera. I'm hoping it is not in the big chest, because I'm going to do what is called the Hera pot. There's a little skip. By clipping into this pot just 1 pixel more than usual, it allows me to effectively hookshot to the other side of the pot, which drags me into the pot, and then I can wiggle my way to fall into that hole and effectively teleport to the top of the tower very, very easily. Because normally you can fall into that hole from the top of the tower in order to get like a fairy heart refill if you need it. Because, let's be real, Moldorm can be really mean in the vanilla game. And you can fall down and it can hit you, and those pots on the side might just not be enough for heart refills. Could you not? Oh my goodness. Just using the cave because it's easier. Plus I can actually go down there without having to worry about Moldorm immediately bonking me down. Ah, the last item is in fact in the big chest. But I think it's reasonable to just skip this one for now. I feel like I've already invested a lot of time in a lot of other places. So I kind of don't want to waste much more time here. Oh yeah, pedestal was money. Sorry, I didn't see that question earlier. So, we actually go into the dungeon here, or... oh wow, that's just not enough space to go through here. What a meanie. Let me through. Oh, now we hope this is quick, because this would actually validate me going all the way to the back of Skullwoods. Let's see what it is. It is Bombus. So nope, we never had to go to the back of Skullwoods ever. And I likely just wasted a good chunk of time. Actually no, I did, guaranteed, not just likely. Maybe not, like the likely part I guess applies to maybe my opponent did the same thing. But hey. It is randomizer, you always have a chance. Now there's a bunch of items here in this place here. Nothing useful so far. Just money. Alright, so through Hookshot Cave we can go to the backside. But you cannot bonk into these walls in case you're curious. So in the backside here we can go and grab our bow, which we know where it is. Thanks to having been here earlier. Also what you do is you mirror here, and then you go up and grab the bow, and then you go back down. The reason why you do this is because this is actually slightly more efficient in terms of invulnerability frame management. Because you have to wait a little bit in order to get back into the portal frame. You can actually use that in order to move just slightly further than before. Another potion here, and nothing here. Alright, we could have gone into Turtle Rock. We can go all the way to the boss without actually being able to beat the boss, but I think it just makes more sense to go into Swamp Palace at this point. Now, in Swamp Palace, we do have the choice of going straight to the boss, or we can go left side swamp first. Now there's 2 or 3 different trains of thoughts as to why you would go left side first or go to the boss first. First of all, if you go to the boss first, you could just find that last item you need. In this case it's literally just one, which could just be on the boss or something. We could just find it along the way and never have to waste time going to left side swamp, which would be nice. Plus there's more items in the back, and you actually get through those items in the back faster than the left side. But if you plan on clearing out the left side anyways, as in you come back inside, which I do, then you actually are not weighing the 4 items or the 4 chest locations in the back versus the 2 chest locations on the left. You're actually weighing the 4 chest locations in the back versus every other location in the game you haven't checked yet. That could still be the other item that you still need at this point. And that is kind of my reasoning as to why I'm probably going to go left side first. I say probably. The one time I'm not going left side first is if I get the big key in the first 2 chests. Also, we just got an armor upgrade, which does actually give us... Well, basically, most of them is only half damage now, that's the short version. Some traps and a variety of enemies still basically deal a fixed amount of damage rather than anything else, but there's that. And yes, left side first, if you do everything anyways. Left side first is significantly faster. Because we have a little trick called dive now, indeed. Alright, let's see. That's the big key. Alright, we go backside first. Do we? Yeah, we go backside first. Because there's actually also a slight chance that the left 2 items are both map and compass. And we'd never have to go there to begin with. Although that is much less common occurrence. So this is called diver down, where basically I'm wedging myself onto the ledge where I'm not supposed to stand and jump down onto the lower ground there. And unfortunately left side has at least one item because we just picked up the compass. Still one item. If it's just one item, I might decide to skip out on left side swamp for once. Because there's a lot of other places I could go and look for that silly ice rod that are more efficient, and everything is basically equally likely for the ice rod. That's just the nature of the beast. We'll see. What do you think, chat? Actually, no, I'm not allowed to ask chat. This is a ladder race. I can't have your input. Normally, in this case, I would just go, chat, should I go left side swamp or not? But no, I'm just not going to go if there's only one item on the left side. That way I couldn't be possibly influenced by somebody accidentally spoiling things. So it comes down to this. If this is the map, we go left side. Okay, we go back in. Dream. Alright, now. Order of operation. What will I do after I go left side swamp? Because at this point I have to kind of plan ahead. You know what? I can tell you what I should have done before going to swamp. And I kind of forgot about this. I should have cleared both Palace of Darkness as well as Eastern Palace, because at this point I have the bow, I have everything I need to clear this dungeon. I know there's 2 more items there. And those 2 items, well, those are 2 possible locations I need to check for Ice Rod, and I have to clear anyways. So I should have gone there, just purely on the basis of that idea. Because it's item locations I check anyways. And yeah, I should have gone there before going to swamp, but I forgot for some reason. I guess I'm not that focused today. That's alright. Just kind of trying to figure out at this point what would have been more efficient in hindsight. Hey, but we also can do a little trick that I almost never get to do. I also forgot to do a hook speed. Whatever. Either way, hook it in that pot from the bottom is easy, because you can just, well, hookshot to it. But hookshotting to that spot from up here is actually kind of tricky. You once again have to wiggle yourself or get into a specific alignment in order to hookshot straight down and actually hit the pot from the side. It's kind of weird. It's not difficult, you just need to know what to do, and it saves a tiny bit of time. And I'm all about these small time saves, I just like them. Just get enough sleep for Friday. Could actually be interesting. Because I haven't done the Jäger monthly this month yet. Because I just everything, I guess. But I do not want to miss D&D. So I might actually just kind of handle it a bit differently this month. Yeah. 1. Selecting the mirror already, just in case. Well, actually, no, we need to get outside no matter what. And nothing of van. Clear. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. 10 string D&D? No. For me personally, streaming is immensely like socially taxing on my like social batteries, if you want to put it this way, and so is T&D. And those 2 things would just kind of multiply each other to be way more taxing on top of it, and I couldn't really focus for that long. Introvert problems, I guess. Alrighty, let's do this. We have everything already from the dungeon, so we don't need to worry about grabbing anything. So what we do here is use this in order to hit the switch on the side, mainly because it's easy. It's probably a faster way to do this. Hit this switch over there, do a hammer dash up, switch over to the Kingdoms of Mario to use a Kingdoms of Mario block, switch over to the bow because we need to defeat the red mimic here. And... oh, wow, I missed it twice. And then we just go up here. Then I need to switch over to the hammer in order to be able to clear the next room. And thanks to still having sword beams, I actually don't have to worry about switching to any other item in order to hit the crystal switch that distance. I just need the hammer here. I intentionally hit the hammer on the ground before hitting the turtle, otherwise I would actually get a slight pushback from the hammer, so that's that. So in this next room here, normally there's like a bunch of turtles in the way. I mean, they're still in the way, but... oops. I just do a cape dash, or just dash with the cape, I guess. Then I can get through there without any trouble. Can you? Oh. I expected the other thing to explode first, but it's random. Yeah. That's fine. Alright, we need to switch to the mirror in order to clear Eastern Palace right after this. And then I have to decide where to go next. That's a bug net, that's nice, but not something we need. But I do like bug nets. You know, I forgot to... well, no. Yeah, no, actually I should have checked Bomba's tablet coming out of Swamp, I think. Another thing that I would consider a mistake, I guess. I'm trying to switch the hammer in time before entering this dungeon here. So I can do a hammer dash through the pot, over the switch. And then I'm trying to switch over to the cape here, so I can just dash through these blocks here. I'm just releasing the bees because I don't need them, and may want to fill up the bottles with like blue goop or something like that. So there's a, by the way, the room on the left here, how this one works is as soon as you enter the center big square, if you will, of this entire thing, that is when the 4 skeletons will spawn, basically in the 4 cardinal directions away from you. Straight up, straight down, straight left, straight to the right. And they spawn as soon as you enter the square in the center. You just can't see them because they only, like, visualize themselves early. You also can't hit them with the sword until, well, they visualize themselves and pop out, but you can effectively hit them with almost everything else. Like bombs, bow, arrows, sword beams, all of these kinds of things work. You can even use fire rod shots, stuff like that. So you can actually clear that room efficiently. And the way I walk into the center, I effectively enter that center square from above, which allows me to spawn the skeletons in a very particular way. Hang on. Keep the fairy. Which allows me to spawn the skeletons in a particular way, where the skeleton above me will spawn in the wall, the skeleton to the bottom of me will spawn inside the pot, and both of these effectively don't spawn at all because of that. Alright, this was not here, so at least the ordering didn't matter for me clearing the dungeon, so that's a good thing. Alright, where do we go next? I should have thought about this beforehand. Let's go Ice Palace. Actually, before Ice Palace, I'm tempted to just go and check Hobo, because that place has been available ever since I was supposed to have the flippers. simple as that. Also, sorry for forgetting to mark some things. I never mark half matching because it's not relevant to me unlocking locations, so I just tend to forget about it. 10 bombs. That 10 bomb stack, by the way, is not something that normally appears in vanilla. That is actually something that I think was originally implemented because of a possible bomb start beginning, where you could play standard, but you get a randomized weapon. You don't necessarily start with a sword and have to rescue Princess Zelda with a fire rod, bow, arrows, or potentially a bomb. Or well, 10 bombs, I guess, which can be quite tricky. Or really good if you know how to do it well. Oh my goodness, delicious bombs. Alright, let's see. Penguins. Oh. Started switching towards the mirror just in case this was the ice rod, which is something I'm trying to optimize, generally speaking. Now, this is a green pendant. Do I go and clear the green pendant? I don't wanna. It's one of these cases where it's like, sure, the ice rod could be on the green pendant. Basically, the green pendant unlocks one additional item from Zahazwala, because normally you trade it, more or less trade it in for the boots. Oh, I forgot to switch. Up on the switch. My goodness. Also, by the way, ice break here. I can get the first setup. Item number 1. But yeah, effectively a green pendant is kind of an additional item, but I tend to just call it a fetch quest with extra steps. Because you have to defeat the boss just to get the item, or the pendant I guess. And then... that's 2 items already. And then you have to go and turn it in on top of it. So... yeah, it's just super inefficient. It's a big key. Entering that stair from the side is kind of weird. Because of the ice momentum, it just straight up works. So once again, you can hookshot through moving blocks. And, I mean, I guess I can just... ah, my goodness. I don't want to leave any more items behind, because ice rod can be anywhere. It's just gonna be whoever gets luckier in this race anyways. He's gonna be the winner. It could actually just be straight up in Turtle Rock to have the ice rod there. And the more efficient I am with checking literally everything else instead of going into Turtle Rock, maybe that increases my odds of winning. But considering that I already cleared a lot of stuff that was just straight up really not necessary, not so sure about that. So I'm literally just clearing out this dungeon here to get the green pendant. And then turn it into Zahazwala. Now, what do I do next? I think after green pendant I save and quit to... no, after green pendant I'm gonna check the back of graveyard. Oh my goodness, this is not where I meant to go. Come back, birdie. Or ducky. It's a ducky, isn't it? Sometimes you can dash through that shot when he shoots there at Dr. Rock, but sometimes he hits you too. Basically frame rules. Alright, turn it in. And it's not here. Second pendant dungeon I cleared for no good reason. And... oh, we go and check the bumper ledge. We check the bumper ledge, then back of graveyard, then King's Tomb. Pop down. And we flew back to Kakariko, do the entire smith chain, where we rescue Froggy, and grab the purple chest and turn that one in, as well as 2 hammer packs along the way. And then we check the Bombos tablet along the way on turning in the blue chest. And then we go up Death Mountain, because there's literally nothing else left aside from Spike Cave and... oh, Catfish. Forgot about Catfish. You know what? I'm gonna slight change of plan. Instead of... so normally I would have just hopped down here in order to go down to King's Tomb right after, but I can actually check Catfish reasonably efficiently from this position here. Just keep the portal to the Dark World instead of hopping down without it. Not sure why I forgot about Catfish. So King's Tomb is next. Have to go around anyways if I want to go to Catfish, so I might as well just mirror on the slightly more efficient side for this. Nothing here. And then we swim over to Catfish. At least we don't have to worry about the Pyramid Fairy, because the big red bomb cannot be accessed without clearing Turtle Rock anyways, and then you need the Ice Rod in order to clear Turtle Rock. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to throw something into the Catfish pond, and then you've probably seen a lot of runners, when they do that, bonk into this wall. This is not just for fun, although it is kind of funny looking. But... oh, that's the Ice Rod. Okay. The entire planning for nothing. It's actually always a good thing to try and think ahead like that though. Either way, that bonk is not just for fun. That bonk actually helps you with something that is called a quick warp. For whatever reason, I think every 7 or so pixels, it might be more, it might be, I don't remember how many, it's actually quite a distance between the pixels. Either way, every so few alignments of your character horizontally in the world gives you what is called a quick warp, which slightly shortens the transition from light world to the dark world by quite a significant margin. I don't know why it happens. I just know it is basically pixel related and probably relates to the animation of going from the light world to the dark world, which is also why in some cases you will see me enter these warps in specific ways, like some runners you see maybe enter certain warps from the left side even though they approach it from the right side, just because it allows them to gain like half a second on the dark light world transition, or save it at least. So there's that. Alrighty. Aside from that, not a whole lot else to say. Use the fire rod to light these torches. Switch to hookshot to drop down and respawn back at the entrance. A bit more efficient than doing it the traditional way. And there's the big key, we did need that. And the small key. You need 3 small keys. Oops. In order to be able to clear the dungeon. Well, let me be more specific. 3 small keys specifically out of chests. Then you can guaranteed clear a dungeon. Which, you might be a bit confused as to me saying this. Because aren't all the small keys in the dungeon? Yes, they are. But the reason why that can be relevant is because you may be able to just ascertain whether you want to go to the big chest, which could have a small key in it, or not. Most of the time it's fine to just skip the big chest. Unless you didn't get the big key yet. So we never actually need to get the lava room chest where the big key normally is in the vanilla game, because we already have the big key, and the best case scenario in this case would just be literally like you get a key while investing a key. So instead of going to the lava room chest over there, because we don't need any more items to clear the game, even though silver arrows would be nice, they are not required. I'm just grabbing the key and I'm out of here. So what I could consider is going outside a round to get the big chest, because there's a rare scenario where both that key, that chest there in the center has a small key in it, and the big chest has a small key in it. It is kind of rare, it's like a 5% thing, so it does happen occasionally. But you do save a lot of time not going to the big chest. But you'll waste a lot of time having to backtrack, potentially. Oops. Also forgot to hit the crystal switch earlier, so that made this room a bit awkward. Alrighty, now we are hoping for a small key beyond the laser bridge, and if not, I'll have to backtrack to the previous location. Because it will be exactly that scenario as I just described. Oh my goodness. I have not messed up the route in here in a long time. I had no idea how to recover from that. So I do have a ferry, so in case I die I get revived, so this is kind of a nice bit of safety. I'm a big advocate of, even if you're racing, just get a bit of safety, because if you have the safe in the back of your mind, you know you can just kind of play maybe slightly more risky and gain more time through that. And maybe make up all the time that you invested getting the safety to begin with. Uh-oh. Alright, there's a small key. This is always terrifying when it's in the last chest there. But hey, it's fine. And we actually kind of got a gold sword along the way, so that's nice. It's not a big upgrade compared to the temperate sword, curious enough, but very specifically it helps against this boss to be, well, a zero cycle potentially, where he's not gonna stretch out his neck, if I do it right. Oh, I didn't do it right. So if I managed to hit the head before it extended on the left side, I could have gone to the other head on the back side as well, and kill it before it extended, and then I could have killed the big boss, so to speak. Or well, the entire thing without the thing extending to begin with. Fun fact, you can hit the head before the center part is vulnerable. Only after the big snake hits the bottom left corner, the center becomes vulnerable instead of the head. Kind of weird. I didn't pay attention whether there's still an item in that chest. I'm sorry. Alrighty. We now have one of 22 possible locations. In Ganon's Tower, where the big key could possibly be, so if you're watching this on YouTube, because I plan on highlighting this, what is your guess? Where's the big key going to be? Just guess a number between 1 and 22 inclusive, and, well, we'll see who's going to win. Malachar says 7. Ungarzak says 13. I'm gonna go with the Fire Snake room. You can also say your location if you know locations. Horcross says 14. Not the only one says 21. And Dominion says 5. And we're about to open up the first chest. Let's see. It's number 1. We also need a small key before going up. So everybody was wrong, at least live. 8-Bit Belmont says 1. Oh my goodness. The what? This is amazing. Alright. Jackpot! Indeed. Oh, I forgot I don't have silver arrows. My movement strategy here only works when you have silver arrows, so this was an awkward room. Oh well. That message came after the chest was open. I know, but it's fine. That's okay. By the way, fun fact, if you do a cape dash or dash with the cape and then just switch away from the cape mid-dash, you have that weird kind of awkward delay where you're still under some form of weird cape effect, and it actually can mess up your movement quite a bit, especially if you are going through a screen transition after cape dashing and undoing the cape. You actually can possibly just lock your game in the direction. In that case, you need to hope that you have enough magic to still, well, use the cape. Because if you don't, you actually can't undo that thing potentially, and you may have to mirror out of the dungeon. Basically, short version is, cape dash can mess up your movement in weird ways. You were a bit late after your 5 is taken. That's okay. 5 was still the closest. Alongside the Dominion. I mean, I don't mind. I'm actually curious how many comments I'm gonna get on the YouTube thing, because I feel like, you know, there's not a whole lot of people watching that, but at the same time, there's a few. And I hope you're having a good time over there. I know I'm not usually addressing, well, the people in the future directly. But yeah. Unfortunately, Twitch is a bit of a mess in terms of trying to watch the highlights. Or, well, the videos that get effectively, well, created. So YouTube is still kind of the way to go. If you hold down left into this room here, you can actually, for some reason, place the bomb faster than usual. Kinda neat. Also, just for good measure, I like opening up that chest if I don't have silver arrows yet. It wasn't silver arrows. Also, occasionally you will hear some people, ouch, refer to this chest after Moldorm 2 here as the... Oh my god, I didn't... Wow! I have not done that before, that's a first. So I've fallen down here numerous times because Moldorm is a meanie, but I've never actually walked down there after defeating him. Moldorm was not even involved there, I was just trying to get here. Either way, this chest here is often called the validation chest, and if you open it and can tell us the item, your run gets validated. Now, the reason why that's even a thing is because in early versions of the randomizer, they didn't really have a way to make sure everybody had the same seed, because somebody may have just loaded up the wrong seed or something like that. Either way, that was in the very early days of randomizer. They effectively told each other what the first chest was in Link's house, and then they also told each other what the last chest was at Moldorm 2 after the fact, which is kind of why validation. Also, I forgot to... well. No! Oh, that was a blue ball. I missed too many shots there. Twitch makes it unnecessarily hard to get to the VODs. Yes and no. I don't know about unnecessarily hard as much as it is just YouTube has so many more years of advanced like setup and technology and infrastructure to make it all significantly more accessible that our standards are that high. as I remember, a lot of the days on YouTube where that little bar was chasing the life bar, or the life bar was chasing the little bar, etc. on YouTube videos. Alright, since we have a gold sword, this is gonna be relatively easy in comparison. You just need to hit Ganon here 6 times per phase in order to push him into the next phase. And for some reason, standing inside this ring of fire bats here makes it actually weirdly easy to dodge them. Don't know why exactly, but I assume it has something to do with the fire bats are just kind of an equal distance away from you everywhere. So, after I hit Ganon here 4 times, when he stops teleporting that is, we're going to try to light the lamp on the left side before the lamp on the right side extinguishes. And if we manage to do this, then the right side lamp will actually never extinguish to begin with, making it significantly easier to defeat Ganon here in the end. So let's see what I get a cheeky spin in at the end. In your tower, I did not find your arrows. Right, managed to do this. The lamp, just spamming it towards the end of the falling tiles makes this relatively easy. Oh, I actually hit him. Swinging to hit there is actually really difficult, and only really worth it if you have the gold sword anyways. I didn't get it this time. But might as well try if you are too slow with the torch thing and charge up, which... oh. I'm clearly messing this up quite a bit. Basically, you don't need the silver arrows in order to defeat Ganon, but... well, you have to hit him in a really weird way, where he just is after teleporting, and I don't assume this is intended, but it works. Because normally when he turns blue, he actually undoes the damage, I guess. Actually, I don't know how that works. Either way, I'm gonna be done in... now. And... race results. Fear Agent versus Yagamoth. And Fear has defeated Yagamoth, so I actually lost this race. So Fear Agent managed to get a time of 1 hour, 30 minutes and 50 seconds. It's actually only 24 seconds of a difference. So any of these long extensions that I did, if I just kind of went slightly different, would have gotten me the win. But hey, that's okay. GG to Fear Agent for winning. GG. Because I was kind of fully prepared to just go to the very last location and then into Total Rock to get that ice rod. But yeah, that's quite fine. Fun fact, if I did actually skip Left Side Swamp, I would have been slightly faster. But there were 2 items there. And one of the worst things that can happen to you is you skip Left Side Swamp and you have to come back later. So, in the randomizer, when you activate the certain option, you can actually hold the X button, and it speeds up the credits by quite a lot if you don't want to sit around for too long. But yeah, I hope the commentary was insightful and useful. I have to say, I feel like I dropped the ball quite a bit in trying to commentate on what I'm doing, what I was doing, because half of the things I didn't even explain. But I kind of, sort of, somewhat plan on highlighting these runs and races, well, regularly in the future and put them onto YouTube, so if you have any feedback about that, do let me know about it. As for that, now, thank you so much for watching, and until next time. And anybody who is live here, I hope you enjoyed your stay as well. And yeah. Oh, actually, Fear Agent showed me what they had for item locations left. Let me see real quick. So Fear Agent still had the back of the graveyard ledge, One item in Tower of Hera, probably the same one. King's Tomb remaining, as well as the Smith Chain. Fear Agent also had, well, I guess that doesn't count. Smith Chain still remaining. Fear Agent, I guess, still skipped Left Side Swamp in this case. But aside from that, did also Ice Palace and Skullwoods. Actually, this appears to be kind of the only difference. I did slightly more Overworld. Although Fear Agent did not do Spy Cave. Alrighty, yeah, that's quite interesting. Alrighty everybody, a bit of a shorter stream today. I hope you had still a good time. And if anybody would like to play some Lost Ark, I am, well, playing around soon. I actually currently play on the US server Regulus, just kind of to be on the same server as Wellheart, in case you're curious about that. So yeah, good times and take care.